Hey guys, my name is Elizabeth. I'm the author of the Once Bitten trilogy. We have gained a lot of new readers in the last, at least the last month or two, and I'm super excited because you guys are starting to send me messages, and I'm getting feedback on the books and how much you guys love them, and you have no idea how great that is to hear when you've spent close to 4 years working on something. So I thought, since we have so many new readers and a lot of new, people are liking the page that haven't followed it before, that I would kind of go back in time a little bit, back to the very first book, and reintroduce some of the characters, some of the places, and things to our new readers. Most of you that have been following my page for a while and you've read the books, you know that a lot of my characters are based off of people that I've met in real life. And a lot of the places are real places here in the Shreveport-Bossier area of Louisiana where I live and where I grew up. So that's what the videos you're going to be seeing, the series of these, I'm going to probably keep it going to the end of the week because there's a lot of material to go through. And that's what these videos are going to be about. So I'm going to start first by answering some of the most basic questions that I get when we're out doing events and signings. You show these books to people and you say, hey, do you like vampires, werewolves, and witches? And like some Louisiana culture and some history. Sure, yeah. Are they like Twilight? No. It's the first thing I tell people. They are the exact opposite of Twilight. I give Stephenie Meyer a lot of credit because she did hit a notch with Twilight that was different. And it was, I think in the end, it was the love story that sold those books. And then you give it to a movie production studio and they start poking fun at it. They're disco balls, they sparkle, they're like unicorns. And I hated it in some ways because she did have a good spin on things, but people just continue to bash her over it. And if you get past the fact that Edward sparkles, there is a good love story in those books. So no, my books are not like Stephenie Meyer's Twilight Saga in that way. But the one thing they do have in common is there is a love story here. There is a love story with Carly and Joey the werewolf. It is a star-crossed lovers kind of thing, which is why the second book is called Crossing Stars, because they are not supposed to be together. They are not supposed to feel the way they do about each other, but they do. And it takes Carly the longest to come to terms with that, mostly because she's trying to hold on to her human life as long as she can. She feels really forced into this life of a vampire. And, she made the decision, for obvious reasons, when you read the book, you'll find that out. But she made the decision to become a vampire. This was not something that just happened to her. The initial bite process just happened and it was tragic, but she had actually chosen not to become the vampire. She was going to allow herself to die. So when her and Joey get together and they start discovering that they really feel for each other and they connect and they have this amazing rhythm together that you just can't, you can't deny it. So she struggles the most with that. But at the end of the day, it's a love story. It's a love story between Carly and Joey. It's a love story between Carly and her mom. It's a love story between Carly and the town that she lives in, Oakland, Louisiana, where she wants to keep the history in it sacred as much as she can. So that is where Once Bitten begins. It begins with Carly being, and I've told people this, I can't stand her in the first part of the first book because she's really being a stuck-up, very spoiled, very self-centered, typical teenage girl until her life takes a very unexpected turn. And I like to relate that to our lives because we never know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to change us. And everything that happens to us, especially as teenagers and young adults, affects the rest of our life. It turns us into people we're going to be, and it shapes us from people that we have previously been. So hang in there if you're like me and you think she's really stuck up, guys. She really is stuck up. I'm not going to lie to you. But once you get past that and you start seeing her change and you see her life flipping, you just cannot help but really fall for her and understand, especially as a person, how your life changes and how you have to change with your life. we don't always become the people that we set out to be. And I think that's really Carly's biggest message, is that we're not always going to become that person we thought we were going to, but the person we become is so much stronger and so much better than the one we originally planned. So that's where we start in the first book. And if you have not read my books, you can find them on Amazon. You can find the paperbacks also on Barnes & Noble. And I will be at 2nd and Charles in Bossier City this next Saturday from 12 to 4 with 2 other authors, Alicia Kirkhart and Jean Conley. And we will be signing books and giving away book swag and just having, a really good time. We'll be answering your questions and taking pictures, all of that fun stuff. So if you don't have the books and you're local in the Shreveport-Bossier area, definitely come by and see me this next Saturday. And I will see you guys later today for another video. And in that video, we're going to discuss some of the actual people that inspired the characters in the book.